Hello, welcome back. I'm David. I've been speaking about spirituality, about witchcraft, what it is to become involved with what many people would call the occult, but I would call an everyday practitioner. Now, one of the things that I talked about was that when we feel that something is compelling us, if we're not already at work practicing, I'm talking about starting off being called. Am I called? Why do I feel I'm called to become a witch or a warlock or whatever your particular genre is on the subject of either the occult or religious practices? It's very important that when we first start off and we're looking, that like everything else in life, we need to have some sort of protection. We need to know the bus route or some idea of the bus route that we're taking, even though we've never done that route before. We need a roadmap. And it does help if you've got a bus driver who knows where they're going. So you can sit and relax and enjoy the ride, so to speak. With everything that we undertake these days, from banking through to leaving our front door, we need some sort of protection. If it's absolutely throwing it down outside, we don't want to go out in our shorts and t-shirts and come back unscathed by the rain. So how do we get spiritual protection? What do I mean by protection? Well, the Hindus, I think, have got the longest service of history of a thing called a mantra or a chant of protection. So if you go online and you type in Kali, K-A-L-I, and ask for a protection mantra, I'm sure that you'll find that on YouTube. They'll come up and they'll have somebody who is far better at singing the mantra than I would ever be able to accomplish. So a mantra is where we call out for a deity, a god, and we are seeking that they protect us on our journey. Now, in the more mystic or the European culture, when people start out on a journey, they use somebody or they commune with someone called Hecate, who is the person at the crossroads that will help you to seek guidance. So instead of using Kali, use Hecate in your chants, or as you listen to the chants, just let it sink in and feel that, they're really quite hypnotic in a way. But we need to get some sort of covering. We need an umbrella. And so I would say we've gone for Kali, for chants, and for Hecate. Now, the difference between Kali and Hecate in the chants is I find that some of the European chants aren't quite as polished because the Hindus have been doing this for centuries longer, and they have had a more stable culture. And those chants are absolutely the best I have come across, and that is not to deny the work of Hecate or Lilith or any of the other deities. I just find that those chants for me personally work best. So remember, it's Kali, K-L-I, and it is chants, mantras for protection. And that is what we're going to start off with. Once we've done that, we can start to even leave it on very quietly in the background, we're starting to ask ourselves internal questions. Because if we've not yet connected with or been connected to deity or deities over a period of time, we won't really have much idea what to expect at all. Now, one of the biggest things about protection is that we who don't know when we're starting off, we that don't know anything, are vulnerable to those that claim they know a lot. And that on YouTube there are quite a lot of people, channels, who are seeking to use your curiosity to promote themselves. Now, I'm a non-profit making organisation. Right? I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking only that you like and subscribe if you want more of this format of information that will help you understand the basics of what is happening. How do we become a witch? What makes us a witch? What is it that changes? Now, I'm 71 years old, and I put it down to a bad hair day because I've had lots of bad hair days. And as you can see now, as my hair is growing, it grows wild. And if we're not careful, our thoughts, just like our hair, become a bad hair day or thought day of wildness. Ping! It's gone. Our thoughts are all over the place. What can we do? And you will recognise that when it's happened, it's not nice. And so one of the things that people want to do is find a distraction, to look for something in life, because people are maybe not giving us the best journey. Maybe that bus driver isn't watching for bumps in the road, and we seem to be hitting every one of them. Most of the time we can see that we are surrounded by people that we have no way out of being involved with. It's a bit like being at school. When we're a kid, we're not going into a classroom where we get to pick our friends. We're put into a classroom, and in most cases, or a lot of cases, like myself when I went to school, I did not know anybody else in that class. I was put there and I was expected to get on with it. And depending on the favourability of yourselves with the teacher, in a lot of cases, is how well we prospered within that classroom. And life, unfortunately, tends to mirror those early stages in everything we do. When we get to go to school ourselves, it's the same principle. If we started work, in most cases, that is a similar principle, unless we go self-employed. And then we're under a constant barrage of other people, their opinions, their thoughts, and in some cases, the manipulation of the situation around us. And spiritually, it's no different. When you're starting off, you're entering into a classroom where, unless you have somebody who is tried and tested and has been doing witchcraft or some sort of spell work for many years, who we can trust, and even then we can only partly trust them. We can seek information rather than trust. Trust is earned. So at this stage, I'm here just to get you safely onto that first step, the first run. And so we talked about prompts. What are prompts? Prompts are things that we're often hearing, seeing, coming across. Now we have to be careful. A prompt is something that is external. when we have friends, this is very careful, that they start to try to prompt us in a way that they're trying to tell us what their opinion of what is best for us. Now, in some cases, it can be the most genuine, loving intention of that person. But I found in most cases, it's best to take it with a pinch of salt, say thank you, listen to it. But then you must make up your own mind. And if you don't want to take their opinion, don't. We do not learn unless we make mistakes. Sometimes making mistakes is the best education we can ever get. It's costly, it can be unpleasant, but it certainly does make a point. So mantras are there to help us to ward off those people and those thoughts that are trying to steal from you or manipulate you or feed off you. Like, it can be so annoying, like those little ticks that bite into us. It can be so scary, like those vampire bats who want to feed off our neck. They really want to do some damage. And they really want to turn us into what they are. Now the ticks, they can make blisters, but some of those ticks can be very poisonous too. So it's a question of learning what is the best for you. And when I say learning, we can only learn from experience. We cannot hide away on one hand and then try to learn about the world on another. A TV set will not do that. YouTube is full of people who I found in most cases are not interested in you. I've been through this, so I'm not going to keep repeating it. We must learn that we are responsible for ourselves, and that many people who try to imitate, and this is really important that we learn this, being called is something that will change your life when you are called. So understanding what a calling is when Spirit, a Spirit, is reaching out to you. Now, flesh gives birth to flesh, so we're born and we are what we are because of our parents' DNA and our mother's unique facility to build us. Mothers have got something very special, better than any AI technology. They can build from a little out from a man, a grown-up adult over time, with nurture, love, and best intentions. You cannot pick your parents. You cannot choose them. And in the same way, you do not get to pick your deities. You do not get to pick whether you're going to be a witch or not. Now, many people can be practicing and have some success. It will not mean anything other than there are certain things anybody can do that will create a witchy type of spell that will work. But I'm talking about spirituality here, being called to witchcraft and spiritual working is a part of your nature. And like your nature, everybody's got a different side to theirs. We grow it. So the first thing is, what do I do? How do I become spiritual? And is it going to cost me? And if so, how much? Did I inherit it because mother's a witch? Father's a warlock? It's in the family blood. And unfortunately, that's another myth. Now let me explain to you, because I've read many different versions of people who become gifted. People who say, I've invested a lot of time and effort and reading, and it's cost me a lot of money to get to where I am. If they were lucky, they were born, given a spirit, born again. Christians talk about being born again, and it's very similar for everybody. It's a good expression actually for what I'm talking about. Spirit gives birth to spirit. Flesh gives birth to flesh. And you cannot pick your parents. You're a product of your parents. And in the same way, becoming spiritual is about receiving a gift, a spiritual gift. You can't buy it, you can't purchase it, you can't beg for it. You are chosen and given. So as a gift, you've not earned it, else it wouldn't be a gift, it would be a wage. Right? You can't learn to be, which is a gift, a pure gift. You receive it because it's a gift as the gift it is. And then once you have been gifted, something inside you has a hunger. Like babies have a hunger. They want their milk. And babies at 90-year-old still want their grub. We feed. We're feeders. And in a way, it's the same sort of thing. We actually have a hunger for things spiritual, magical. And we can have that hunger even if we're not receiving the Spirit. We can feel a calling to it, but it will never last. Things become difficult to understand because it's not natural. You don't have to understand how to be a human being because you already are one. The only thing you'll ever understand as a human being is how it feels to be a human being in your shoes. It is a gift. Your unique gift is to be uniquely you. Okay? Spiritually, it is exactly the same, whether we like it or not, whether you disagree with me or not. So mantras for the protection are good for everybody because it doesn't matter whether you're spiritual or you're not. There are things outside our control that will want to hurt us. We live in a very cruel world, and this world is changing. We're watching it as we grow. And the older you are, the more you see out the uniqueness of what is going on. If you understand history, you're living at an important stage of history. This will change how we as humans either come together as a society or fracture once again into little tribes and have the tribe mentality. I don't know how it'll end, and I'm 71 years old, so I doubt I'm going to see more than 20 years more of what is ahead. I'll probably see how it progresses, but I certainly won't see how all this comes to its end of ends. So I understand my limits. I can see what's going on. The world does what the world does. What I am asking is that if you want to get involved, because even if you haven't received the Spirit now, your involvement, you may well find that what you were now, or what you are now, when we start to change, was the catalyst for that change, those thoughts, those actions. So becoming spiritual isn't really something that we have much say in, because we don't give ourselves a spirit. Everybody says they're born with a human spirit. We have a spirit within us. But this is a very different type. This is something that takes the humanity and changes the direction through a spiritual dimension. And that is something that I hope you'll all progress to, or have progressed into, or started to realise is happening here. So what is the next stage? Right, okay, I know there's something going on. I want to be a witch. I want to be a warlock. I want to be something spiritual. This is why these mantras are very important, because people will be trying to take from you things that maybe you even want to give them. You need help. I'm willing to help you, but you must do it my way. Okay, thank you. Can you not say that giving away of yourself? Okay, I'll do it your way. Some of us will want to question what that way is. It's never forthcoming, because their agenda is way down the line in some cases. Their agenda is to see how quickly they can move you down that line. So, first of all, if you're feeling that you're called to want to practice, if you're already in an establishment like a church or a mosque or a synagogue or something like a Mormon religion, any religion, be careful who you speak to, because they will see that as a threat to themselves. And the moment we start to step out, we must do it very carefully. So again, my advice is that these mantras are helping to dress you for the correct weather that you're going to meet outside. If it's going to be snowing and you go out in flip-flops and a pair of shorts, you're going to start to feel that cold very quickly. If it's absolutely roasting outside and you go out in full combat gear with boots, winter coats, scarves, helmets and a hot water bottle, again you will suffer, only because you're dressed inappropriately. So how do we know what the weather is like outside is almost what I'm asking. How do we know that? So we start to reach out. And once we start to reach out, these mantras, this protection, all I suggest, don't go into all this stuff. Most of this stuff I make, the masks I make, and so I build them myself. They're my hobby. And I enjoy creating things. So lots of the things that I create, from wands to masks to pictures, they're all part of my creativity and my love of things occultish. So I channel in that direction. But when we are looking for advice, be careful, because many people will want to take advantage of you. And I don't mean this for those that aren't. If you're very beautiful, male or female, if you've got the look, right? If you are a little bit shy of being fully competent with people, you will find, and if you're already of that gender, you'll also know that you get plagued and pestered There may be people like myself who aren't the greatest of lookers. People just only pass their heads my way if they need something, like, excuse me, you're blocking my path. So I'm down to that now, so that's a good thing for me, because I'm not plagued by people who are trying to steer me in a direction that I would not be happy to go in. And that comes through experience. I know it sounds like I'm waffling a little bit, but I'm trying to put little storylines where you can relate to, because it's very serious. Because if we get stuck, there are people out there that will want to hurt us. They'll want to use us and abuse us, because that's them, that's not us. That is them, that is their way of life. That is the life that they've chosen for themselves. And so be careful. So what do we do now? Now, the first thing I suggest that you do is find some nice soothing music. I know that there's lots of songs that we like to hear that we relax to, but those words tend to get in our head, and before long we've got a little disco and all the lights are going round in our head, and like a bad hair day, our thoughts have exploded into dance, rhythm, song, and we're no longer focused. So the music must help us focus, to learn to listen, to hear, and to be still. Now, this being still is coming to a place of peace. The quieter you can find that place, the more quiet. And don't need to build this altar. We're starting out, and we want to know who it is trying to reach us. So even a little tea light candle, if you've got it. If you've got nothing, it doesn't matter. It's you, not your possessions, that Spirit is speaking to. Spirit is not impressed by all that you see around me. Spirit is impressed with my attitude towards other people, them, and most of all, that attitude will be my own personal attitude to self. So the trimmings, the hype, the left-hand path, the right-hand path. Whenever somebody's trying to tell you is some path to go on, listen to them. Can you hear the fireworks? That's strange. Just as I'm coming to the end, the fireworks kick off. And maybe that's a good reminder to say, I'm sorry about the noise, but please stop. Connect with yourself. Go back. Remember K-A-L-I, Kylie. Go and find some mantras that talk about you receiving, getting back. And then I'll meet you, because now we're going to go into the actual doing. But we're not going to go into that now, because we've done 30 minutes. And 30 minutes of me speaking is enough for anybody. Maybe in one day, sometimes maybe in a lifetime. Have a great day. With a blessing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. And if you did listen to me, please give me a like, just to know that there is somebody. I see the numbers are growing, which are nice. They're only very small at the moment, but that will come with time. So thank you. Like, subscribe, and we're going to go to the next page. With the next page, when we turn it over, we'll talk about what do we actually do? How do we get there? And my hint is learn to still yourself. Learn to find somewhere quiet where you can just sit and ask, who are you? Just keep asking, who are you? If you can feel a presence, you know you're starting on the way. If you don't worry about it. First of all, we have to be still. So we're going to practice next time, stilling the mind. Have a great day, and again, thank you. Bye-bye.